on the call.
Deep throws to just see if Deshaun Watson will take him. It's all part of the evaluation process.
That's Devon Booth from the 4. So we are underway in the second half. He's got a little bit of a seal past the 30 before he's knocked down at the 32-yard line. And so now, for the first time since injuring his Achilles, trailing 14-7 here as we get underway in the second half. A play fake to Marshall. Watson on the boot. Throws in and out of the hands of a receiver. That was Malachi Corley that he was trying to hit. Good coverage by Kenai Walker.
Browns are running a bootleg off of naked action, and on the backside, defensive end there for the Bills. He stays home and is able to get into the face of Deshaun Watson and forces a little bit of a delayed throw to the sideline. Deshaun still gets everything he can out of it, just not able to complete it there on the sideline near the Bills defenders.
3 receivers to the left for Watson as Marshall remains in the game, and he gets the handoff. Bottled up nicely by that Buffalo defense. T.J. Parker, the second-round pick out of Clemson, and Solomon there combining on the stop. At this point of his career, what, in your opinion, does Deshaun Watson do best?
I think what he does best is he's patient. He allows the game to come to him. He's still got that great accuracy. And from his quarterbacks, he calls them 2-play quarterbacks. That means they can extend the play and beat you with their legs, whether that's running the football or just running outside the pocket and throwing the football down the field. 3rd and 12 for Watson out of the shotgun. Looking, throwing, ball tipped in the air and incomplete as he was looking for Gage Larvinan. Nice job by the Bills defense. Jordan Hancock out of Ohio State knocking that one away. So it goes Wes Paul, the rookie out of Oklahoma State, on to boot it away for the second time. Veteran Nicole Hardman at his own 25. Good punt as Hardman backtracks to his 15. Gets past the 25 and dragged down up near the 30. Logan Fano, the rookie out of Utah. About our quarterback situation. The competition between Shedeur Sanders and Deshaun Watson. How quickly will this team make a decision?
You know, Chris, ultimately that'll be Coach Punting's call. You know, it's his responsibility to prepare the team, you know, make sure that the stars in play. I think everybody could see, you know, how well he threw the ball. He played with poise. He played with command of the offense. You could see his playmaking with a 4th down throw to Blake Whitehart. I know we got a holding penalty on his scramble, but then overcame being behind the sticks with a nice completion of Luke Flourier. I actually think the piece in his game where he's grown the most, that maybe goes a little
bit. Split reps between the 2 quarterbacks, make it as fair as possible, but how do you evaluate the play between those 2 guys when you see Shedeur in the first half going against the Buffalo Bills' second defense, but also having the second O-line, whereas last week against the
competition, that's what we're asking them to do in a given game situation, and that's ultimately the information that we take together to make a judgment.
So you're saying you don't pay attention to the quarterback tracker?
I've heard a lot about this QB tracker, which I think just shows the passion and interest, you know, certainly in the competition, which is great, you know, but certainly we're taking more factors than that.
Okay, that is a nice tackle by Winston Reed, who has actually had a couple of good games last week in Chicago and here. Linebacker is one of those positions on defense where we know that you've got Quincy Williams, free agent pickup, and Carson Schlesinger, and then after that, it feels like there's some guys competing.
Yeah, we really like the linebacker room, and you know, that's an area that you know, really over the past several years, we haven't necessarily invested heavily from a resource standpoint, but we've been able to find players with speed, aggression, athleticism that really fit this scheme. And Winston's one of them. He's a heat-seeking missile. He's got a ton of pop on contact. He can make plays on in the perimeter run game, and then we saw last week his proficiency in the passing game. So we're really pleased with his progression after missing all of last year with the back injury.
On the defensive line, you've had a lot of bumps and bruises throughout camp. We saw Mike Hall, who normally has been a defending and coming into camp. Obviously, he missed some time with injury, but you know, that was really the plan. You know, once he returned to the field, to really work him at both spots. We think that, you know, Mike has the ability to be one of our more dynamic rushers, and he's probably one of the few guys that we've had that has versatility to rush on the outside as well as an interior rusher, just because of his explosiveness. And so we certainly saw that in the first half with you know, with the sack he was able to get, and then the pressure on the keeper. So we were really pleased with what we've seen in practice as well as the game today. You know, with that dual flex. He's a Hall of Fame caliber coordinator. Like, he is one of the best in the business, and you never really completely replace that. I think
what drew us to Rudy is the fact that came up in the same philosophy as Jim. Very much believes in the attack-based, system in terms of how we play our front seven. And what Rudy, I think, is able to add, he has a number of, I would say, creative, coverage wrinkles from, his past stops that he's been able to marry balls, if you will. That'll be part of our, Rolodex as we get into the season.
Once again, we are joined by Andrew Berry, the architect of the Cleveland Browns. That is Wheeler sidestepping a few tackles, getting inside the 30, set up a second down. Jared Verse, obviously the centerpiece in the return.
Every day on the practice field is like, the Super Bowl, 4th and 1 on the Super Bowl. And to maintain that level of intensity day in and day out is really phenomenal. And then in the building, he's just a fantastic leader with his work ethic, with his ability to build relationship with his teammates, which is ability to hold the standard. So we're really pleased to have him as part of our organization.
Go 3rd down.
Did you know he was such a great leader when you guys brought him in?
No, we had heard a lot of really great things about his leadership ability when we scouted him at Florida State, and then obviously with the background work we did with LA. I think it's one of those things, though, you probably don't fully appreciate it until he's with you and you see it day in and day out, especially.
It's been for Spencer Fano to be able to go against Jared Verse every day.
It's been great, and I think what Spencer's probably realizing is you're not going to face very many rushers with his level of power. In the NFL. And I think that's one area that young offensive linemen who are on the more athletic side, that takes them maybe a little bit more time to adjust to. And it's been a good.
So they are going to try for a long field goal. Tyler Bass looks like it's going to be spotted at the 42, so a 52-yarder. What'd you tell us about your special teams time at Harvard? Were you the guy that tried to block on the edge?
Yeah, I wasn't Denzel Ward good at it. I can tell you that. I wasn't like that. I was probably a little bit more your punt returner, gunner type.
Bass nails it and just sneaks it inside the upright, and the Bills' lead is 17-7. Andrew Berry, you have time to hang out with us and watch it.
Let's get back to Cleveland, though, as the Browns and Deshaun Watson look to get the ball back.
That's Cole Wilson bringing it past the 30, the 35, and the 40. Rookie out of Baylor showing some impressive speed, and now Deshaun Watson on for his.
And I think the second part of it is you can see with every passing week how much more comfort he's getting with the game and the speed of the game. I think we saw that particularly last week with Chicago. And he's really just worked his tail off to get back and play at a good level.
The receiver room has done a complete 180. You spent 2 of your first 3 picks on wide receivers. And
I was watching. We call them, pop-up players in the fall, where players that may not be on the original watch list, maybe because they're, in Casey's case, he was an underclassman, but that were playing pretty good in the fall and made it clear for the draft. And I remember watching this film, and I was like, who is? I don't know.
How surprised were you when Denzel Boston was still available for you guys in the second round?
Yeah, we were pretty excited. We on night 1 we actually made a couple of calls to try to trade back into the back end of round 1 for him. We weren't able to strike a deal, so we were pretty excited when he was available at 37 or 39, wherever we picked him. We thought there was maybe a puncher's chance that he could be available, and then we were excited that the board fell the way that it did.
All right, unfortunately, another 3 and out for the Browns, and so they will bring on the special teams unit. Wes Paul on to punt it away. We brought in 3 punters this year.
Yeah, I tell you what, we wanted to make sure that we had competition at that spot. We're probably going to be a little bit different philosophically on the punt team than we've been in the past. As you can see, what our special teams coordinator Byron Storer would call a banana ball right there. So we brought in a couple of kickers that have a little bit more in their bag than we've seen in the past.
You got time to hang around for
Sure.
one more? Great. More with Andrew Berry coming your way. Bills can get off the field. That was Gosnell in motion. Allen across the field, in and out of the midst of Hardman. So the Browns have forced their 3rd straight punt, and we will see a 2-minute drive for Shedeur Sanders. Brown it away for the 3rd straight possession. This one a good kick, a spiral. Larverdin calling for the fair catch at his own 17. We will be back in 30 seconds.
They get to see their young quarterback, young offensive line, young receivers in a 2-minute drill, try and get points before the half.
Devon Booth into the backfield for the first time today. Sanders dumps it down to Booth, and he is going to be tied up. Joe Andreessen the first to hit him, and then a second shot as well, maybe even a yard or two out of bounds. So the clock stops with 1:40. Foul hit called by the referees. 2nd and 16. Joe Thomas, you let it fly?
I think you want to at least get 5-10 yards back so you give yourself a chance with a reasonable 3rd down here.
It'll be a handoff. Booth cuts back up the middle, and Andreessen there again. Doesn't even get to the 15.
And that's what the Browns were trying to do there, hoping that the Bills were playing cover.
We've got 2 of the 6 first-time head coaches going head-to-head here today. 3rd and 13. Solid first half for Shedeur Sanders. Flagged. Might be a free play, and he's going to dump it down to Booth. And for the 3rd straight play, Andreessen is right there for the wrap-up, but it's possible that TJ Parker, the rookie out of Clemson, might have jumped early.
Offside. Defense number 99. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
If you're a Browns fan, this is exactly what you love to see from Shedeur Sanders. Some of the growth that Coach Monken has talked is closer, and now they're in actually a manageable situation where they can run their normal pass concepts and still get the 1st down.
And most people don't get excited about a jump like that. Good point, though, Hall of Famer.
Well, thank you.
3rd and 8. Sanders looks, pressured, flag down in the backfield, and an incomplete pass as well as he was looking for Booth.
Holding. Offense number 70. Penalty decline. Result of the play. 4th down.
That's the 2nd holding call on Zach Zinter.
Well, yeah, I believe it should have been out here, to be totally honest.
Yeah, that was. I think that was Big Thanos 79 out there, but they're picking on the left guard, and I don't like it.
Yeah, it seems like so you're bringing bad luck to the Cards.
Positional bias is what we're saying.
Yes,
they just corrected it there.
So you didn't mind if they called it on the left tackle, let's say, back in the day,
No,
right?
he was always a selfish player.
As long as your name's not called on the on the PA announcement, you're doing okay.
So
holding Joel Batonio.
Do the other linemen look at you when you get called for holding?
It depends on the situation. You look at the replay and see if it's really a hold or not.
Wes Paul on to boot it away. As Davis taking it up past the 35. Quick reminder, everybody, kick off your mornings with News 5's Good Morning Cleveland. Tiffany Tarr, please. Your skills as well.
He was very impressed. You know, as a farmer, we're always looking at the weather, praying for rain sometimes, praying for dry sometimes. And I think we nailed it. I mean, it was rain, lightning, and it's not now. That's all you need to know.
Joel Batonio, on the second half, you're going to give us the traffic report. So be ready, TV rookie.
In the helicopter?
Oh, yeah. First connection for Allen as he hits Hardman. Clock continues to roll with under a minute to go. Buffalo with a pair of timeouts.
Looking here, Cleveland still got 3 timeouts as well. If they're able to get a stop here, don't be surprised if they use a timeout, try to get Shedeur another chance at a 2-minute drill.
Allen down the right side, and that is a connection to Jamori McClain. Ends up getting it inside the 20. That was Jamori Macklin on the reception for Buffalo. Gain of 37. Clock still running. Zylstra gets it out of bounds at about the 10. So clock stopped with 21 ticks left and still 2 timeouts.
Bill's picking on Browns corner Trey Avery right now. Last 2 throws going in his direction. Receiver just ran through him. Ran past him 2 plays ago for that big completion to get you down there. Then they get quick to the line of scrimmage.
Runner was down at the 9-yard line. Results in a 1st down.
Bills get up to the line of scrimmage quickly and then fire one out to the sideline again before the Browns coverage is able to really get settled and make much of a play on that one.
So 1st and goal as they respotted the ball. It's at the 9-yard line. Quick hitter to the left. That is Hardman. Dances his way into the end zone for a touchdown. An impressive 2-minute drive from the veteran Kyle Allen as he hits the 3-time Super Bowl champion who once ended a
On your receiver to cut back and up and into the end zone.
Tyler Bass on for the PAT as the Bills have taken their second lead of the day with 15 seconds left. And that lead is back to 7 points. So 15 ticks left, 3 timeouts. Not much time left for.
The O-line held up really well. There's a couple holding calls on them. I thought they moved the ball pretty well, and I thought he got through his reads. The one throw, it hit the guy. It was a little bit behind. But overall, I think it was a very positive day. We talked about the cadence, too, and he worked that in. So I think the arrow is pointing up.
Yeah, operation is one of the things we've talked about all camp for both these quarterbacks, especially Shedeur being the more inexperienced of the 2 quarterbacks. But operation was flawless today. No pre-snap issues, getting up to the line of scrimmage, checking the play multiple times to get to the second play, which is a better play against the look that they were getting from the Bills. And other than that one throw that was a little bit behind their tight end that led to an interception, you got to feel pretty good about the job Shedeur Sanders has done out here today.
Second half, we expect to see Deshaun Watson in the 3rd quarter. Let's see if we can get a big return and maybe set up a play for a field goal. It'll be Cole Wilson from the goal line. There's a flag down. A couple of them, actually. So the nice return will most likely be nullified. Bill Vinovich, he and his crew very busy here in the 2nd quarter.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Receiving to number 23. 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
That's on Amani Marshall. Second half, your work's not done there, TV rookie, Batonio. You're down on the sidelines for the second. Are you going to do some interviews?
Yeah, I think we're going to get some interviews. Me and Aditi will get some conversation going down there.
Clipping. Receiving team number 23.
Well, it's about time. I'm lonely down here. Joe Thomas is saying that Chris Rose is his friend, forgets that I'm down here. Joel, I cannot wait for you to join me.
Oh, I'm excited. Hopefully the rain holds off.
I hope it
for
pours
you, it
when
will
you get
hold
down
off.
there.
It's only me that the Cleveland weather gods don't like.
Not true. Not true, Aditi. It's come on. You live not too far away. If the weather can change in an instant.
It can, but it rains every time I'm on a Cleveland sideline. Look it up.
We're keeping stats on Aditi's forecasts now. 9 seconds left here in the 1st half. And this will conclude the 1st half. Well, a lot of fun, some good moments. And